song was pretty white.
Well, so am I. What can I tell you?
You've been working on your dancing, though. You should spend more time on it because the youth of America depends on you to show the way.
Monkees is the craziest people.
This is a video essay about the 1968 Monkees movie Head, directed by Bob Rafelson and written by Bob Rafelson and surprising co-writer Jack Nicholson. Yes, that Jack Nicholson.
It's not right.
No. Peter, I hate to interrupt that.
Yeah, I know it's for your niece.
The film takes the Monkees, a band who were created for an NBC children's television show, and does something kind of fascinating, and I want to outline two of those fascinating things. Now, if you've never seen the Monkees before, it was a half-hour TV show about the zany adventures of a 60s musical act called The Monkees. Bright, colourful, and featuring songs by the band, which you could then buy in the real world, along with other merchandise. The band members are Michael Nesmith, Davy Jones, Mickey Dolenz, and Peter Tork, four young men who auditioned to be on the show, and who all bring a different flavour to the ensemble. Mike is the dry sardonic one, Davy is the British one, Mickey is the kooky super enthusiastic one, and Peter is the dummy. He's always the dummy.
I'm the dummy, Mickey. I'm always the dummy.
Now, I first saw Head at the age of 16, maybe 17, and this is an age when you're taking those first tentative steps from childhood into adulthood, exciting and strange times. I had watched and loved the Monkees TV show when I was a kid, so for me to be taking those preliminary steps into adulthood alongside the Monkees, well, it felt pretty good. Apt. As a teenager, your childhood is still with you. You can feel it, but you are, perhaps, a little embarrassed by it, and eager to set some distance between you and it. Things were exactly the same for the Monkees when they made Head.
I felt I couldn't go on. I can't.
Head was the Monkees' first and, eventually, only feature film, and is a direct attempt to put a little distance between the band and their recognised audience of being 4 kids.
Well, if it isn't God's gift to the 8-year-old.
It was an attempt to take them somewhere else, somewhere a little more grown-up, adult, mature. They even went with a promotional image based on the Warhol film Blowjob, and if that doesn't tell you what they were doing, well, nothing will. The film is not in any way derivative either. In fact, it's remarkably dynamic and creative. True, it is remixing a lot of popular culture elements, but that's kind of the point of the film in a way. It is one of the pioneers of the use of solarization in film, and there's one sequence that seems very similar to something Michelangelo Antonioni would come up with years later when he made Zabriskie Point. And you all know how I feel about Zabriskie Point.
Hey, now wait a minute.
Anyway, all of this is nicely summed up in what you might call the thesis statement of the film, Ditty Diego War Chant, which appears at around the 8-minute mark in Head, and which I dare not play here because, you know, YouTube. Put simply, Head is not a children's film. It talks about, amongst other things, war, mistreatment of disabled people, the unrestricted growth of capitalism, and this is the first point I want to mention, the difference between the real and the vividly imagined experience. The idea goes that it's not possible for a person to tell the difference between an experience that actually happened to them and one that the brain imagines or experiences. This idea of experience also seems to be referring to an experience which is watched on TV or seen in a film. At around 66 minutes and 66 seconds into the film, we meet a Swami talking about beliefs, who says, a psychologically tested belief of our time is that the central nervous system, which feeds its impulses directly to the brain, the conscious and subconscious, is unable to discern between the real and the vividly imagined experience.
How's about some more steam?
Later on in the film, Peter, the dummy, rephrases these words as, psychologically speaking, the human mind, or brain, or whatever, is almost incapable of distinguishing between the real and the vividly imagined experience. Sound, film, music, and radio. Even these manipulated experiences are received, more or less directly and uninterpreted by the mind.
They are catalogued and recorded and either acted upon directly or stored in the memory, or both.
Now, the fact that the Monkees movie jumped into these themes so wholeheartedly really warmed my teenage heart. These are ideas that get talked about by people like Goddard, Jodorowsky, Lynch, people who I was discovering and enjoying elsewhere, so seeing these same ideas in the movie of a kids show that I watched growing up, well, it was a hell of a thing. Head plays around with this idea of the difference between the real and the imagined experience as it dances from one genre to another, fulfilling and subverting conventions, showing behind-the-scene moments from what will eventually be presented as a work of fiction played straight, i.e. as fact, showing scenes out of sequence, and generally getting you to think about whether the things you're seeing are real or fake. Of course, everything is fake, it's a film, but You know what I mean.
Hey, lady, come on, get up. Stop acting.
Hey, what is this?
Hey, come on. Stop playing. It's all over. It's an act. Come on, get up.
Well, stop kicking me.
Oh, I don't want to do this anymore, man. Oh, these fake arrows and this junk and the fake trees. Bob, I'm through. Oh, it stinks, man.
Hey, well, Mickey, wait a minute.
Fake dirt.
And the second point I wanted to mention is that when you're a kid, you believe in magic. You have a sense of wonder about the world. Things are fascinating, enchanting, exciting. And then, in the process of getting older, becoming an adult, meeting people, walking around and doing things, this sense of wide-eyed wonder and belief in magic seems to be slowly ground out of people. They keep the world at a distance, stop believing in anything that isn't directly in front of them, and stop appreciating anything that doesn't give them a very clear benefit. And slowly but surely, this sense of wonder and enchantment with the world is lost.
Somebody come up and giggle at you. That's a violation of your civil rights.
Now, I'm not going to say that this didn't happen to me because I watched the Monkees movie Head at a pivotal time in my life, but, you know, it's interesting. For me, it does feel important that I watched fake TV friends that I had as a child become more adult while also retaining their sense of fun while I was doing the same thing myself. And this sense of fun and wonder is not just about using cinema to create fake tricks, it's also about simply walking in the snow or on the beach, taking the world on the world's terms. And that includes the terrible things as much as the wonderful things. The fact that the Monkees stood up and said, yes, the world is wonderful and terrible and fake and real all at the same time, and we love it, is something that I think a lot more people could do with hearing.
Hey, what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
I asked you first.
I ordered this and I don't want it.
Throw it away.
I can't. They're a starving
Chinese.
This is serious.
Normally I end these videos by saying, hey, this is my version of a good time, but I'm not going to tell you what your version of a good time is, so go wherever you want to and do what you like to do. Because I stopped broadly recommending films in the year 2000 after an incident involving the film Magnolia, which is a story for another time. But I am going to finish this video essay by recommending that you go and watch the Monkees movie Head. There really isn't anything else quite like it. And unless you're the Grinch with a heart 2 sizes too small, then I don't see how you can't love it. And also, a big part of Head is the songs, and I can't play any of them here, which is heartbreaking. The music in Head is amazing, with a particular shout out from me to the Porpoise song and the uplifting yet heartbreaking Daddy song, written by Harry Nilsson. So go watch Head, they've got something to say, watch it at 3 AM if you can, and have yourself a time.
Well, let me tell you one thing, son. Nobody ever lends money to a man with a sense of humor.